would you consider yourself an anti-establishment president?
Of course. I mean, I'm like the definitional version of an anti-establishment.
Who's the last anti-establishment president you think we had outside of Trump?
It's been a long time. I mean, I'm tempted to say an element of Reagan was anti-establishment, but only an element, because I think he was, and I respect him, but he was prone to a sort of compromise that is a little bit of a, I respect Reagan, he's a hero, but slightly different than my orientation coming in as a true outsider in this. There was a streak that Eisenhower had towards the end of his presidency. I think it's when a part of him inside that disgusted him when he gave that farewell address on the military-industrial complex, absolutely. But I don't know that we will have had an anti-establishment president like the one that I intend to be for this country, and I think our moment uniquely calls for it too. Because I don't think there's been a moment in American history where we've had the merger of private power and state power to together do what neither could do on its own. I think that is a uniquely now 21st century phenomenon. And so I think that the times of the country select for the kind of leader that that moment calls for.
You think there's a reason why we haven't had one for a while? You think that it's intentional? Well, you think they know how to eliminate guys like you to not be able to compete?
I hope not.
Well, by the way, if you're talking about shutting down 75%, I'm going to eliminate this, I'm going to eliminate that. The last guy that had that kind of a plan, you know what I'm saying?
Didn't go so high.
Not too long. He was a good guy, but.
We joke around about this, but, you know, it was a serious conversation as a family in the stage that we're in to step into the arena that we're stepping into. This isn't, I mean, we step into the arena as an entrepreneur. This is a different arena.
No question.
And, you know, I mean, I'm a father of 2 sons. Mm-hmm. We think about these things very seriously. My obligation is to my 2 sons, but in a deeper sense of not just showering on them some inheritance, right? I don't think that does them any favors. We're putting ungodly sums into this campaign to lift this up. But in a certain sense, that is the inheritance we want to give them, is a country. I want to be a president. I want you all to hold me to the standard where you can tell your kids and look them in the eye, as I want to tell my 2 sons, in good conscience, that I want you to grow up and be like him, whoever that is, in the White House. It's been a long time since I think we've had a president to whom at least I could say that to my 2 sons in good conscience. And that comes with some sacrifice. And that was the tradition I was raised in. It's the tradition of this country. The Judeo-Christian values that this country was founded on is founded on the idea of sacrifice, of doing your duty at behest of sacrifice. And so we all have to look ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves, how are we going to make the sacrifice we need to create this country? I did not serve at the age of 22. Many of my friends did. I respect them for it. I went in to be a capitalist. And I think there are many ways to serve this country, and I don't apologize for that. I'm proud of it. But this is a phase of my life to say, how do we create that country that I grew up in, or even better, maybe even a country greater than the one that you and I grew up in? And I think, yes, does that involve some risk and some sacrifice? Yes. But you can make a sacrifice, you can take a risk if you know what you are sacrificing for. And that's this thing we call America, and that's what we've signed up for, and we're not going to stop until we see it through.
Who was the toughest person to convince? Wife, parents? Who was the toughest person to say, honey, don't do this?
Yeah.
What are you doing? We're very wealthy. We have young kids. Leave it alone. We have a good life. Why do you have to do this? Let the other 70, 80, 90-year-olds run. Just leave it alone.
Well, I mean, the truth is I have a lot of people, we you know, very blessed to live in a family and a circle of friends who love us very much. And so the truth is, there was only one person I had to actually convince, who was my wife, who was the easiest person to convince, and the rest of them were unconvinced and did not give me their permission even as of the day I declared. So they're now along with us for the ride.
Fantastic.
But, you know, my wife, the first question she asked me was, are you sure we don't want to do this 20 years from now when...
It's a great question, by the way.
It's a good question.
You're only going to be 57, yeah.
It is your question. Are we going to have more experience? And by the way, our kids are going to be out of the house, and we'll be in a phase of our life where this might be more realistic from a family perspective to handle. And honest to God, my answer was, I thought that was a very fair thing for us to reflect on. I don't think we have 20 years left as a country, actually. Not if we stay on the track we're on right now. I don't think there's going to be something left to conserve, to save. It'll be something. We'll be going through the motions, right? We'll be still a bunch of, two-legged higher mammals looking around the room. We got, different genders. 2 of them. There's different shades of melanin. Okay, this is great. We're diverse. We'll be 2-legged higher mammals with a bunch of different shades of melanin, roaming some geographic space that we call a country, doing what our iPhones told us to do on a given day, going through the motions.
Yeah.
But that's not really the United States of America. That's just the aimless passage of time. And I think there's more to life, there's more to this country than the aimless passage of time. And I think that we call it the American dream for a reason. You wake up from a dream, what happens? You forget what the dream was about. You remember what it felt like for a little bit. Pretty soon you forget that too. I think that's the zone we're in right now. So we forgot what that dream was about. We still remember what it felt like. That's a fragile thing. I don't think we're working with a lot of time here. And so I think that sense of urgency, Apurva, she joined me in agreeing with that and also believing that, 20 years from now I will be a little bit more tired. I don't know that I'll be.
I don't know about that. You seem like you're a fired up type of guy.
Maybe,
like you're gonna
I'm
be.
a fired up type of guy.
Yeah.
But we're ready for this now, and so I don't think we want to look back 20 years and regret and say that we missed our window to breathe the life back into this country.
You are a formidable opponent, and it's great to see a guy like you come through. The way you handle debates, sitting down with Don Lemon, he's trying to piss you off, and you're like, look, I simply disagree with you, but respectfully, we're on different pages. The way you manage yourself has been fantastic, and as a person that is as eloquent as you, your background, your ethnicity, your success in your life, family guy, all of that stuff, it's exciting to see guys like you coming up. For the entire political side, a lot of Republicans are happy to see guys like you coming up. You're going to inspire a lot of 22-year-olds right now, 18-year-olds right now that are going to say, if this 37-year-old can do it, maybe I can in the next 15 years. So I think we do need a guy like you competing. It's a very good thing to see.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.